Hey there, fellow gardeners! Welcome back to Smart Garden, where we dig deep into the real solutions that transform struggling gardens into abundant paradises. If you're watching this, chances are your container garden isn't quite living up to your expectations. Those tomatoes aren't producing like you hoped, your herbs look a bit lackluster, and despite all your care and attention, something just isn't clicking. Here's the truth. You're probably making at least one of 7 critical mistakes that are secretly sabotaging your plants right now. The good news? Every single one of these problems has a straightforward fix, and by the end of this guide, you'll know exactly how to turn things around and create the thriving container garden you've been dreaming about. The container size catastrophe. One of the most devastating mistakes I see gardeners make is choosing containers that are completely wrong for their plants. When you select a pot that's too small, you're essentially strangling your plant's root system before it even has a chance to establish itself. Roots need room to spread out and explore, to anchor the plant, and absorb nutrients efficiently. A cramped container leads to root-bound plants that can't access enough water or nutrition, resulting in stunted growth, premature wilting, and disappointing yields. On the flip side, choosing a container that's excessively large creates its own set of problems. The excess soil holds on to moisture for too long, creating waterlogged conditions that suffocate roots and promote fungal diseases. The fix is simple but crucial. Match your container size to your plant's mature root system. Leafy greens and herbs thrive in containers that are 8 to 10 inches deep, while tomatoes and peppers need at least 5-gallon containers to reach their full potential. Always check the specific requirements for what you're growing. The drainage disaster. Closely related to container size is the drainage dilemma, and this one kills more container plants than almost anything else. Without adequate drainage, water accumulates at the bottom of your pot, creating an anaerobic environment where roots literally drown and rot. I've seen countless gardeners select beautiful decorative pots without a single drainage hole, or containers with holes so tiny they might as well not exist. The result is always the same: yellowing leaves, mushy stems, and eventually plant death. The solution requires vigilance when selecting containers. Every single pot you use must have multiple drainage holes at the bottom, not just one measly hole in the center. If you fall in love with a container that lacks drainage, grab your drill and create holes yourself, or use it as a decorative cache pot with a properly draining nursery pot inside. Additionally, consider adding a layer of landscape fabric at the bottom to prevent soil from washing out while still allowing water to escape freely. The soil selection sabotage. Here's where many gardeners go seriously wrong. They fill their containers with regular garden soil and wonder why their plants struggle. Garden soil is designed for in-ground planting where natural soil structure, earthworm activity, and existing drainage systems compensate for its density. In a container, garden soil compacts quickly, creating a dense, airless mass that retains too much water and prevents oxygen from reaching roots. Your plants essentially suffocate in slow motion. Container plants need a completely different growing medium, one that's light, fluffy, and specifically formulated to drain well while retaining just enough moisture. A quality container mix should contain ingredients like peat moss or coconut coir, perlite or vermiculite for aeration, and compost for nutrients. You can purchase pre-made container mixes, but I recommend creating your own blend. Combine equal parts peat moss or coir, perlite, and high-quality compost. This mixture provides the perfect balance of drainage, aeration, and water retention that container plants desperately need. Watering container plants sounds straightforward, but honestly, it's where I see gardeners struggle the most. The problem usually shows up in 2 opposite extremes, either chronic underwatering that leaves your plants wilted and stressed, or enthusiastic overwatering that drowns the roots and invites disease. Both of these mistakes, well, they really come from not understanding that container plants have completely different water needs than in-ground gardens. Containers dry out faster because they're exposed on all sides, but at the same time, they can also hold water too long if the drainage isn't perfect. So, the key to watering success is honestly consistency and observation. Before you water, always perform the finger test. Stick your finger about 2 inches into the soil, and only water if it feels dry at that depth. When you do water, make sure to do it slowly and deeply, allowing the water to penetrate throughout the entire root zone until it drains from the bottom. This encourages deep root growth and helps prevent those annoying dry pockets within the soil. During hot summer months, you might need to water daily or even twice daily for some plants, while in cooler seasons, you'll need to water far less frequently. The fertilizer famine. Even with perfect soil, your container plants will eventually exhaust the available nutrients because there's simply nowhere else to draw nutrition from. Unlike in-ground plants that can extend roots into surrounding soil to find nutrients, container plants are completely dependent on what you provide in that limited space. This is the fertilizer famine, and it manifests as pale leaves, slow growth, and poor fruit production. Container plants are heavy feeders by necessity, and they need regular supplementation to thrive. The solution involves establishing a consistent feeding schedule tailored to your plant's needs. For vegetables and flowering plants, apply a balanced liquid fertilizer every 2 weeks during the growing season, or incorporate slow-release granular fertilizer into the soil at planting time for a more hands-off approach. Organic options like compost tea, fish emulsion, or seaweed extract provide excellent nutrition while improving soil health. The sunlight struggle. Placing containers without considering light requirements is a recipe for disappointment. Every plant has specific sunlight needs, and ignoring these requirements leads to etiolated, weak growth in shade-loving plants forced into full sun, or stunted, non-productive plants that need full sun but are stuck in shade. The visual signs are clear once you know what to look for. Plants in too much sun develop bleached, crispy leaves and require constant watering, while plants in insufficient light become leggy, pale, and fail to flower or fruit. The fix requires honest assessment of your available space and matching plants to conditions. Full sun means 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. Part sun means 4 to 6 hours, and shade means less than 4 hours. Vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, and squash absolutely require full sun to produce well, while lettuce, spinach, and many herbs tolerate or even prefer some afternoon shade. The overcrowding crisis. The final mistake killing your container garden is the temptation to cram too many plants into a single pot. It's understandable because you want maximum production from limited space, but overcrowding creates intense competition for water, nutrients, and light. The result is that all your plants perform poorly instead of 1 or 2 thriving. Each plant needs adequate space for root development and air circulation around foliage. When plants are jammed together, they become more susceptible to fungal diseases, pest infestations spread rapidly, and none reach their full potential. The solution is strategic spacing based on mature plant size. Follow spacing recommendations on seed packets or plant tags, and resist the urge to squeeze in just one more plant. Your container garden transformation starts right now. Review your containers today, identify which of these 7 mistakes you're making, and implement the fixes immediately. You'll be amazed at how quickly your plants respond to proper care. Which mistake have you been making? Drop a comment below and let me know. If this guide helped you, make sure to subscribe to Smart Garden for more game-changing gardening tips, and share this with your gardening friends who need to see it. Let's grow something amazing together.